off like Hiroshima.
Somebody said, look at LeakYou video. What the fuck is LeakYou? Is it like a site? What's LeakYou? LeakYou. Is it a YouTube channel? Oh, shit. Oh, all right, bet. Here we go.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
One, 2, 3, 4.
And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, depending on where you are across the world. Coming through to do a live stream here, I want to talk about some things that you may be hearing about online. And I am talking about Project Kona Blue, also known as Project Aqua. Recently, Joe Rogan did a podcast with old Tucker Carlson. Tucker. And Tucker brought this up. He brought up this project that was accidentally leaked. Listen.
The U.S. government just released, apparently by accident, the Project Aqua stuff. Did you see that?
No. What's that? Retrieving data across dimensional space-time, develop remote viewing comms and countermeasures, determine baselines for physical transport across dimensional space-time barrier, rapid response medical teams for UFO interaction events. So how did they do this accidentally? Study conscious interactions with and control of technology.
So I got this from someone in the U.S. government who's well, look, let me just start by saying that I don't know anything, but he sent me this. The above is 100% legit. I was read into this program but told never to tell anyone. It's now been released. As you can see, it began as a result of my old program, AATIP. I signed a document saying I would never talk about Kona Blue and similar efforts. I can't believe that AARO would have released it. Look,
Yeah.
I mean, here's what we do know is that there's enough going on in the skies, but not just the skies, underwater, that the U.S. military has been forced to respond to it. So, like, move aircraft from one place to another because there are too many of these objects in the sky. That's actually happened. Chris Mellon just wrote a long piece about it. So it's real. The government is not controlling it. In fact, it's forcing the government, DOD, to respond. And we know that there is a real effort and has been underway for a long time to keep the public from knowing about it. But that's all known. That's established. I don't think any rational person would deny that. The question is, like, what is it actually? I mean, now is sort of the point you have to ask, like, what is this?
Yeah, we've been at that point. All right. We've been at that point. And these things that Tucker Carlson is saying are things I know I've been saying for the longest of time, that our government has absolutely no control on this UFO, UAP situation. Stand by one sec. All right. Sorry about that, guys. As I was just saying, and shout out to those of you in this chat, shout out to those of you on YouTube, on all the different platforms I'm streaming on, including Rumble. I was pleasantly surprised to see those that have been viewing the videos over there. But going back to what I was saying, it is absolutely no secret that our government has zero understanding and I should say control on UAP slash UFO slash anything in that realm. One of the really big dangers right now is aviation, commercial flying, military jets out there flying. There has been even talk of planes being shot out of the sky, missiles being shot down, okay, by these anomalous objects. And let's be very clear. Although our government has had many programs over the years that they have utilized, everything down from the capture of these craft to the recovery of these craft and the beings that are within them, our government still does not understand this as much as you may think they do. Now, I don't know how the government, decides that they're going to release information, but I do believe that these so-called accidental leaks is exactly part of how it's just part of the parcel. It's part of how the government does things. Now, if you think that what Tucker Carlson said on Joe Rogan's podcast was a bunch of nonsense, I am here to tell you all that I actually have the documents that have been released by our government. Homeland Security actually is very aware of the Kona Blue project. And these documents can be found online. Okay, you can go and view them. Just do a search for Project Kona Blue. These are PDF files that are sitting on our arrow.mills website. This is a U.S. government-led website. Our Homeland Security, who is said to be responsible for this project, you need to see this, guys. This falls into almost everything we have been talking about. Formerly, these documents were top secret. They have been unclassified. You can see there, top secret has been crossed out. They have been unclassified and they're very interesting. Very, very interesting. And I'm going to go all the way down. Okay. I'm going to keep going here. And I'm going to show you all some very amazing things written by our government. All right. and there's a little bit of detail here because this seems to talk about setting up centers, having data collection divisions. The experimental division initially will consist of a well-studied experimental location that has been researched for approximately 15 years. The intent is to locate, calibrate, and then subject other sites to the same intensive study as the primary location. Within each location, focus remote sensing capabilities on all known hotspots, locations with repeated frequent reports of UAP activity. Okay. A medical division, a data analysis division, a advanced technology center, a consciousness center. What will we do with a consciousness center? Well, we would collect critical data utilizing remote sensing in order to determine the activity and purpose of the advanced technology, especially any threat posed. In an expanded role, remote sensing and related techniques may present an invaluable aid in countering illicit activities conducted against the United States. Demonstrations of capability will be made. But let's keep going, though. Let's keep going and stand by for me. All right. Let me just finish this up really quickly here. Let's go here. Sorry, guys. I've got my, I don't need to tell y'all what I got going on, but let's just say I've got very important people visiting. So things are busy. But let's take a look, right, at page, let's take a look at this page, okay? Page 1 of 17 in these attached documents that you will find very, very, very interesting. Project Kona Blue is a special access program. This advanced technology threat program consists of 7 operational centers: a data collection center, a data analysis center, an advanced technology center, experimental center, a consciousness center, a medical center, and an education center. Overall, key program objectives and milestones for each center are as follows. For the Data Collection Center, to develop internet-based sites for advanced aerospace vehicle reporting. Expand existing data warehouse, 200,000 reports. Not sure exactly what that means. Deploy in-house investigators on select cases and operate liaison center for cooperation with state, local, tribal police, and FBI. Sounds like they're trying to prepare for anything. The Data Analysis Center, which is 2 of 7 of this advanced technology threat program, is a coordination center, a hub of all other centers to maintain in-house technical and computational and laboratory facilities capable of physics, chemistry, biology, and engineering analysis. The Advanced Technology Center. This center would be used to analyze recovered technology in collaboration with major aerospace and electronics companies to set up protocols for obtaining access to materials newly acquired. To operate an assessment team consisting of the best scientists and engineers available to the government, and to collect retirees' oral histories on recovered technology and present location. Okay? Oh, it gets better. Experimental centers, which is part of this advanced advanced technology threat program. The experimental centers, this would be to determine geographical locations within the United States where anomalous activity occurs on and it gets cut off, regular basis. Sorry, I'm looking up here at this top piece here, but something happened there. But this is on arrow.mil, but this is to be on a regular basis and to subject at least 2 of the best locations to intense sensor and human observation study while monitoring activity at others. But what about the consciousness center, which is something they say they need for this advanced threat protection program? Well, the Consciousness Center would be used to expand on remote viewing and remote communication to communicate, retrieve data, and to transport across dimensional space-time barrier, to develop remote viewing countermeasures, and to study consciousness interactions with and control of technology. You all remember Joseph Mengele, right? Check out the Sean Ryan show and the interview that Joseph Mengele did. It's like 6 hours long and it's really good. He did a lot of remote viewing for the CIA, for our government, and he was the one that did the very famous remote viewing reading on Mars at the years of 1 million BC, I believe was the year. But when we're talking about remote viewing and the ability for one to put themselves in a state of consciousness where they astrally project their consciousness, and they go and seek out and find places. They can be given coordinates, GPS coordinates, and somehow They work on this, they train on this over a period of years. And some people got it and some people don't got it. And yeah, we're talking about psychic phenomena here. We are. Now, the last two centers that are part of this program is Medical Center to study physiological and psychological effects of interaction with vehicles and anomalous phenomena, and the Education Center to develop a volunteer corps, expenses reimbursed, to support the collection efforts of the Data Collection Center, to continue to maintain the world's largest libraries on advanced aerospace vehicles and associated phenomena. Off the top, when I see this type of wording, just that sentence alone tells me our government to brag. Look at this. Continue to maintain the world's largest libraries on advanced aerospace vehicles and associated phenomena. Then, well, they've got the largest library on this, so they claim. And yes, these documents were unclassified by our United States government. Okay. These are very interesting, but wait till we get to the justification for the need of all of these centers. A, remote vision, remote communication, and D/re-materialization techniques to observe, communicate, retrieve data, and transfer matter across dimensional and space-time barriers will undoubtedly be of an utmost interest, if not a top collection priority for adversarial intelligence and security services. Countermeasures against such techniques would also be a collection priority. Wow. I'm thinking of the Miami Mall incident right now, how those three beings just kept materializing and dematerializing and rematerializing in front of people's faces. What else would justify the need for these centers or for this program? Recovered advanced technology exists in and is accessible only within an SAP construct, whatever that means. Retrieval and integration of historical data from high-value personnel, I'm thinking MJ12, with knowledge of recovered AAV technology and present location of recovered material is accessible only within a SAP construct. Off the cuff, I'm thinking about all the other people in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s that knew about this top secret of UFOs, UAPs, and alien beings. And a lot of them have since died with this information and knowledge. And it looks like the United States government is making an effort to reach out to those that may have been in the program before to catch their oral history. Okay? Which I find to be quite amazing. Other justifications for this program: undue attention by other United States government or private sector entities not involved with the program or any international interests will directly or indirectly interfere with the daily program mission and perhaps threaten the overall success of the program. And due to the highly specialized nature of the program, overt acknowledgement of personnel involved in the program will lead to unnecessary security risks. And without the appropriate SAP protection, the cost associated with the compromise of specific features of this program, namely those in A and B, would result in grave consequences, perhaps irreversible, to the security of the United States. A and B: remote vision, remote communication, and D/re-materialization techniques to observe, communicate, retrieve data, and transfer matter across dimensional and space-time barriers. Yo. Yo. AAV stands for Advanced Aerospace Vehicle. This is a broad program structured to address the advanced aerospace vehicle problem with regard to potential threat. Okay. Our experimental centers and an advanced technology center. The Advanced Technology Center would address and evaluate, that addresses evaluation and exploitation of advanced technological hardware and associated documentation obtained to date, and the experimental centers to address the gathering of further data concerning advanced aviation technology and related anomalous phenomena from specific geographical sites on the basis of site monitoring. And of course, we went into the various centers that they're going into detail about. I really think the consciousness one is quite interesting. Okay. Very interesting. And I think the Advanced Technology Center is interesting too. I don't think they'll hire me though. I don't think they're going to hire me. I'd be interested. And I'm going down to the Consciousness Center here. You all must read through these documentations. But look, it goes into more detail about the Consciousness Center. The Consciousness Center manages the acquisition, training, and utilization of remote viewers and communicators. These unorthodox techniques may prove to be critical collection methods for supplementing efforts within the data collection, advanced technology, and especially the experimental and medical centers, to develop training and quality assessment program for consciousness studies, to conduct assessments both remotely and on site, to conduct assessments with both experts in field and newly trained personnel. As an initial study, focus capabilities on all known hotspots. Extend remote communication programs to communicate and retrieve data across dimensional and space-time barrier. Develop remote viewing and remote communication countermeasures. Study consciousness interactions with, check this out, with and control of technology. Now, how could one's consciousness be in control of technology? But all that talk about some of these craft interfacing directly with the brain. When a being puts their hands in say, on the dash in a hand port, and all of a sudden their body is plugged in to this craft, their consciousness. And it seems so far-fetched to many of us. To conduct experiments to determine baseline parameters for physical transport across dimensional space-time barrier, as opposed to communication and data transfer only. It seems like they want to physically cross the barrier of dimensional space-time. Experimental results, and here's the deliverables. Experimental results and assessment reports will be produced on each separate activity. Results and reports will be maintained separate from other data reports. They go into the medical center, okay? The education center. Project Kona Blue, okay? Project Kona Blue is the name. And if you've not read these documents, you definitely want to go check them out. I'm going to drop a link directly, actually, to these documents. Let me grab the link here, and I will drop it in the live chat for many of you to grab and to go view at your discretion. Again, you could also, if you're not on a platform where you can see the comment system, you can also go search online for Project Kona Blue. Again, these documents just dropped. And shout out to those of you in the chat. Shout out to Queen's Throne. What's up, Roast to Toast? Good to see you. Neuralink, Emmanuel Briggs, right? Neuralink. There's been so much effort to merge the consciousness into technology of some sort. Project Kona Blue is a real thing. It's a real thing. And per our government's own documentation, the purpose of Kona Blue is to investigate, identify, and analyze sensitive advanced materials and technologies, and to assess potential emerging and or disruptive scientific and technical data necessary in support of national security. Shout out to the LeakYou community. Please join us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music.
Please hit the like. Thank you.
Yeah. Would we have all realized this was even happening? Many of you that are now talking about it online, if Joe Rogan hadn't talked to Tucker Carlson and he hadn't brought it out. This document says so much to me. And I don't know if this is the way that our government begins the process of disclosure, but there's no question to me that this somehow fits in that. And I don't know where it fits, but it fits. I'm sure many news reporters will be talking about this. This was supposed to be, from my understanding, this advanced technology program was supposedly came from the ATIP program that we've heard so much about, right? We've heard so much about. Project Kona Blue. Very interesting stuff, guys. Listen, I appreciate each and every one of you for coming through on all the various platforms that we're on. And shout out to our new Rumble page. I just started posting on it, created it, I don't know, a couple weeks back. And we've been getting some pretty decent viewership over there. So definitely check it out when you get a chance, rumble.com/LeakYou. I'm also been getting a hell of a lot of viewers on Twitter. Shout out to all of you over there on X, Shout out to those of you who come through and watch me over there, as well as those of you on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and Instagram. Listen, guys, if you want to check out my official podcast platform where there's content that you will not see here on these platforms that you're seeing me on now, make sure you go to anchor.fm/LeakYou where you can subscribe. I'm on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, and Google Podcast. Thank you, guys. I appreciate all of you for coming through, guys. Until next time.
The judgment sentence that you are an asshole. The trial is over. Thank you, everybody.
Let's play a game. You have 10 seconds to take all your stuff and get out of my life. 10, 9, 8.
God bless you, motherfucker.
You're really smart, like really, really, really smart. Like